Hello, Tactical Imagination Club. I am so excited to be hosting episode 4 of the IMAGINAUTS with my friend and collaborator and amazing person, Jess Brown. Jess Brown is here in the studio today. And we almost just started the show by dancing to, what was it?
Oprah Winfrey's theme song done by Patti LaBelle.
We almost just started this episode by dancing to Oprah Winfrey's theme song sung by Patti LaBelle. And then all of a sudden it was time to go live and we chickened out. So maybe we'll do it at the end. So as usual, I am here with not only Jess, who I'm about to introduce to you, but Julie, the studio wizard, who will be taking your questions throughout the episode. So at any time during this episode, put your questions into the comments. And after we've been chatting for 20 or 30 minutes, we're going to start answering your questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Any questions that come up along the way, put them in the comments. And even if we don't respond immediately, we're going to respond to all of them in the question and answer period. So Jess Brown, who you're about to see on screen because she is here in the studio, is a multimedia interdisciplinary artist who, sort of like our last guest, is a polymath and someone who's kind of uncategorizable and irrepressible, who does all different kinds of things. And that's what actually brought her to me in the first place, is she was trying to figure out how to make a kind of visual brand or a visual language. Actually, I think you came because you were thinking about your website. And then, well, you'll hear the rest of the story soon. But Jess does a lot of things. I'm going to ask her to describe it to you. And many of you have seen this small gallery of images that I posted in the Tactical Imagination Club yesterday. That is the culmination of our work together, all of it very driven by and built by and conceived of by Jess. And so in this conversation, we're going to talk about how we got to those final images and what that has to do with the larger story of who she is and what she's trying to achieve in the world as an artist. And I'm so excited Jess is here. Everyone give her a round of applause. Yay, Jess! Let's try not to knock her out of the water.
Hello, Facebook world. How are you doing? I'm Jess Brown. Wonderful to meet you. Thank you for having me on today as your guest.
Lovely. I was just complaining / complimenting Jess because she always has fabulous patterns and accessories, and I am always wearing pretty much the same scarf. So maybe,
and blankets.
Maybe you can help. In blankets. I had blankets on when she first arrived. I took them off for this occasion. Okay, so Jess, why don't we start by you, if it's possible to even do this, explaining to the group what you do.
I do a little bit or a lot of a lot of things.
Okay, and I'm going to share a screen at the same time here so
Excellent.
that they can see some of the things you do.
Awesome. Hello, world. So, do I go ahead and talk right now?
You can go ahead and talk right now while I'm doing this.
So, by day, I am a project design or product development manager for Hasbro Toys. So, I work on all your favorite beloved brands such as My Little Pony, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Weeble, The Game of Life, Scrabble, Jim and the Holograms, Tonka, Chuck and Truck, must I go on? So I work on all those things that really influenced me heavily in my childhood. I get to do that on and every day, which is pretty awesome. And outside of work, I am a musician. I play trumpet for the Extraordinary Rendition Band, which is a 30-piece brass band. And we just like to interrupt your everyday scheduled program, as we say. And these pictures are pretty crazy. So that's me playing trumpet and my
Should I go through? Should I try to match them to what you're saying?
Just go.
Here she is. This is the most badass picture of Jess ever.
So I'm just trying to kick ass and take names on a regular. So it's great. We're a street activist band, and we show up where we're needed, whether we're invited or not. And we just definitely feel like music and melody is more powerful than weapons, and that we can change the world in that way. So often people call upon us to help out with protests or just different movements that are going on. We play for parties. We've done weddings. Don't hire us for your wedding. The city, we have a really great relationship, and it's amazing because when you're in a costume, you get away with anything. What else? I also am a singer. I sing with this band, and I sing with my Hasbro band, Toys the Men. And I'm also starting a funk band and an all-ladies brass line. I think we're going with Ladies Liberation. This photo right here is when our little band from Rhode Island went down to the Women's March, and we ended up making the front page of CNN online, as well as the New York Post. And then the next week, several of our band members went back for the Climate March, and we were on the front page of the Times. So that felt really excellent, us being a small group, feeling like we need to participate somehow. And we were the music. We were the soundtrack to this. So we found that it was really helpful for us to be there, and we were able to control the feelings of the crowd, because it could get really tense at sometimes or get really mournful and sorrowful. And we were able to navigate that, and we were actually able to diffuse a lot of conflict that was there. And it just showed us that no matter how many we are, the power of music is really amazing, and it can really change the mood. Mm-hmm. So that was a collaboration with Brick by Brick, a group that started out of Providence, but from Brooklyn. So that was really amazing. Let's see. So this is me with Toys to Men. I'm singing. One of my passions, which you'll see in the work, is to work with TV theme songs and TV shows. So I'm heavily ingrained in pop culture, and that's what a lot of my work deals with. And it comes out in my music as well. So this is me singing Moving On Up, the theme song from the Jeffersons, and I am taking it to church whilst in my choir robe. So that was pretty awesome right there. Amy's going to be talking later about a selfie workshop, and this is just me taking a selfie in Martha's Vineyard.
Yeah, I put this one in here because it's an inspired selfie for your appreciation. Yeah.
I have, a few years ago, I was on a reality TV show called Framework. You might have seen it if it's in your DVR, for just one season, with Grammy Award winner, artist, rapper, songwriter, actor, Common. Yeah, exactly. And so it was a contestants where 13 people fight to win $100,000, a contract with TV2, so on, so on, so on. So that was an amazing experience to go out as a builder and work on this TV show. I quickly learned that reality TV is not reality, but it was amazing to have that experience. And that was my year of yes, where I just said yes to whatever came along, and it led me to going to LA. And I learned that I do know what I'm talking about, and I can build, but I don't always necessarily want to.
Mm-hmm. And the other piece of this being you're a designer and builder, furniture maker, industrial designer.
Correct. Painter, performer, performance artist, all these things. Mm-hmm. And this is Irma Jean. She is a young 82-year-old woman, and she is from Tennessee, but she's a snowbird and lives in Fort Lauderdale, actually at Boca Raton. And this is her calling bingo. So she hosts a bingo game in Providence once every month. She's a riot. She's a hit. And she's a host of Soul Train Bingo, and where we watch Soul Train videos projected behind us, and we play for awesome, amazing prizes, and we have a good time.
So if any of you are considering where you want to live next, Providence is the place, because you can come to Soul Train Bingo with
obviously.
Us. Major draw. I hope the Tourist Commission is paying you.
Well, all right. Well, we're working on that. And maybe we'll Facebook Live a bingo sometime, and everyone will get a digital card. That could be kind of fun, actually.
Would be really fun.
That would be really
I
good
think
time.
we should do that sometime.
This is what we do on our weeknights here.
Okay. I'm going to come out of the screen share. I'm going to close this little window over here. And so that's like the half of it. Maybe that's not even the half of it of who Jess is and what she does. And again, like I guess when you first came to me, you were thinking like, how can I make this make sense on my website, basically?
Right. So yeah, I came to Amy, and she'll tell you her half of the story, but I came to Amy just pretty much a pile of a hot mess, and a hot mess in what I felt like was my artwork and my design and my branding. And really, again, the website, as she was saying, I felt like my website's kind of all over the place. And I had a friend that was just like, oh, I know someone who can probably help you with that. So just Amy trying to help me put together visual language around all the things I do and understanding that all those things don't have to live in separate worlds, but that I am a multimedia artist, that I am interdisciplinary, and we can create a visual language that encompasses all of that.
Right. So like pretty quickly, we abandoned the idea of trying to figure out the website, I think, because we just started talking about, like, we started digging for what are the, you know, behind all of these things that seem different that you do. Exactly. Brain dump.
Yeah.
What are the things, you know, what are the lifelong themes that are coming through? Mm-hmm. And that was kind of amazing to see that stuff.
Yeah, that was
emerge.
Right.
There were a lot of light bulb moments like, oh.
I'm like, where did that come from? Oh, that's always been there. Who knew that's what this work is about?
Yeah. So we had a couple long conversations about that. That was really fascinating. It was really fascinating for me too, to see all of that emerge.
It was interesting how we started in one place and ended up in a totally different place, but the journey was really amazing. Yeah.
And so I think the place we ended up, do you want to say where we ended up in terms of, like, what are the kind of themes or the kind of underlying connecting ideas that you feel like really emerged from that?
Really what emerged is the underlining, like the way I understand and see this world and discuss this world is through television and pop culture references. And it's not even that I watch a lot of television now, but growing up, I was a TV kid. So that's how I learned that I formulated a lot of memories that were false, that were sitcom. They were Rudy Huxtable's and not mine. But just that's how I related, and that's how I had conversation. And that's the thing that we talk about, you know, in high school around the water cooler, like we all came together over these common moments. Mm-hmm. And so that in TV jingles and commercials, but also taking in the things that I saw through television that affected me, like race and relations. And I had all this heavy subject matter that I wanted to discuss, not necessarily knowing I wanted to discuss that, but that was also one of those underlying things.